We agree zone 2 is supposed to feel easy, right? But what if most cyclists don't actually know where it bloody ends? Until it's too late, that is, coach. And worse, they're probably wasting hours, days, weeks, months of training going too soft or too hard. So today, I'm going to give you a test. Yeah, not a lab test, calm down, but a real test. I'm going to test you versus your engine, your heart versus your watts. And it's finally going to tell you, going to give you the truth, the goddamn truth, once and for all, if you're actually building endurance or if you're just riding around in circles and putting in an application for Club Fandango. Oh, zone 2 is so boring. I can't ride in it after 1 hour. You haven't got a big enough why, have you? Because this is fundamentally where your training grows or where your training stops. If you get this right, you're going to open up a feckin' treasure chest of gold. That's how important it is. Okay, so let's talk about the setup now for the test. It's zone 2 though, coach. It's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. We're going to deliberately decouple your heart rate. That is where your heart rate is going to enter zone 3. Now, I want you to use this test as part of your everyday training. It's a zone 2 ride. Okay, it's going to push a little bit more. So you incorporate it in. So don't worry about, I got to be super fresh for it. Try and have it naturally flow into your training. So here's what we're going to do. Take your power zones and take the upper number of your zone 2. If you can round it up to the nearest 0, great. If you've got erg mode, great. It's going to make it real simple for this. So let's say you're 137 watts, round it up to 140. Maybe you're up at 189 watts, round it up to 190, and you're going to ride for 1 hour. Now I would like you to do a 10-minute spin warm-up, something that you can repeat the same. So you're just going to spin on your indoor bike. Then you do the hour. Now what's going to happen is your heart rate will drift. Of course it will drift. So the thing that you're going to look out for first is, when does your heart rate decouple beyond your zone 2 heart rate limit? That point is crucial. Now you've maybe got software like Training Peaks or something you can go back in and analyze after the ride. You mark that point. Where does your heart rate peak? You make a note of that. Where do you start? What's your average? What's your average over the last 10 minutes, say? You can create your own analysis. You're experimenting here. This is your test. But this is important. So you ride that 1 hour and you get the data from it. And this number is going to create our baseline. Then we're going to talk about the training that you're going to incorporate inside your own workouts. Here's the drill. Take the point where you drift into zone 3 heart rate. Let's say it's 35 minutes, for example. Now you're going to use that time as your building block, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to try and do 2 of those efforts, 35 minutes. Sounds easy, coach, but I'm only riding at zone 2. No, remember, a power zone is going to live inside an ecosystem of normally 30 watts. You're going to take half of that. So you're going to add on 15 watts to the upper zone 2 time. We're going to drag it up. We're going to punch it in the balls, okay? You can't say that now, coach, gender specific. We're going to punch it in the stomach. Can't punch people now. Okay, we're going to tell it. We're going to coax it, right? We're going to harass it. No, sorry. We're going to drag it up. So we take 35 minutes, we give ourselves then 5-10 minutes, ideally enough recovery time whereby your heart rate drops back into low zone 2 and you can hold at least a minute in that low zone 2. It starts to plateau out. Then we go again. So you're doing 2 of those efforts where your heart rate drifts. Okay, I can hear you shouting, what if my heart rate doesn't drift until minute 55? I would then say, your zone 2's already been developed and you've maybe got the wrong zones. Because when we do this at the upper end, if you've been managing your zones correctly, you should drift somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. You might drift earlier. Now, if you do drift at 50 minutes, then what I would do is keep it at no more than, say, 30 minutes per effort, but put it up by 20 watts. You experiment, you're trying to drag up and now create 2 distinct blocks of work with a rest that are above that zone 2. How often are you going to do this? You're going to do this after the test the following week. Just build it into your training. And I would do this for 2 to 3 weeks before you test again, because you're constantly doing all your other workouts and you're doing your zone 2 mid-zone efforts as well. Yeah, remember, zone 2 is found with power and then it's then verified with feel. Heart rate helps as a measure, but we're using it to decouple deliberately and give you an insight into the development. Because guess what, folks? Look, I get so excited about it because I see so many people get it wrong. I'm getting off the bike. You've got to understand, you need to build confidence in what you're doing. And when you're drilling into the numbers and seeing that your heart rate's getting lower, I'm going further, that's the point where your mitochondria are having a ficking party. And they're having an all-night party sometimes, even when you're not in. Because when you're not training, you're engaging with life even more because you're recovering faster and you're cashing in your fitness, not just using it on that ficking hill climb in your group ride. You may be asking yourself, well, does this really work? Sure it works. Look at Andrew Jarvis's comment. He's in the 1% club after his second map following this structure. You want more of that? Well, I've got a presentation for you. You can dive into the first link that you can see. That'll take you in a bit of a deeper dive into what I'm talking about. Hey, you want to bypass that? You want to get straight to the juice. I want to get straight to the sweat coach and make that progress, just like Andrew Jarvis. You click the second link and you can come into my community and you can say hello for free for that first week, and you can get a feel of it and see what the hell's going on in there, because this shit works. And before long, you'll be kicking ass so much that you'll be recovering faster on those little punchy climbs in your group ride. You'll be doing much more training and recovering faster. If you stick at this plan, it is far more valuable to draw up the zone 2 at the bottom end and push everything up naturally at the top end, because fundamentally, the mitochondrial's job is like Pac-Man. Waka, 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 waka. It's eating up lactic acid. That was quite a good impersonation there. It is clearing it, and we're reusing it as a fuel. That is the way forward. Without that, you're plateauing and going nowhere. So, dial into the progression and keep the work going. Keep it natural around your training. And also, watch out for your breathing changes. When do you lose that VT1? And if it's your legs screaming, maybe we should do a little bit more hill climbing. So most cyclists, they're going to ride in zone 2 to feel safe, yeah? But you're not here to feel safe. You're here to adapt. You're here to level up. You're here to be bloody bulletproof. So here's the challenge. It's quite simple, isn't it? Do the test, find your breaking point, train at that breaking point, train at the edge, at 15 watts up. You're going to level up, and then you're going to retest, then you're going to repeat. And you're going to continue to progress, avoid the plateau. You are going to become bulletproof, without a doubt. But warning, yes, there are side effects. Better endurance, lower resting heart rate, and a smug sense of superiority over your club mates. And you won't fall asleep in your favourite chair after those long club rides when you've got all those household chores to do. I mean, I'm not only building fitness, I'm building relationship strength. Yeah. Bulletproof Tinder. Do you want some more? Of course there's more. Well, if you're not going through the presentations, I've got a video about how to hack your zone 2. Dive into that and you'll get a bigger insight, okay? Maybe watch it while you're doing the warm-up for your zone 2 test. Ah yeah, you've gone now, sunshine. You just tease us in Scotland. You're like a big fucking light bulb up there, but one of those energy-saving ones. You're never quite bright enough.